News flash, spoiler alert, that's not what happens,
Man
man.
in the room with us.
I would have been
Man,
here for that.
man whore of a merman.
Would have been here for that.
As soon as she opened her mouth, I would be like, "Oh, fuck you."
Even Dick didn't make her better. Like,
No, usually Dick will like calm you down a little
yeah,
bit.
no. Seriously, I think I hate this woman. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm all right. I'm hungry. I just haven't eaten yet,
Yeah.
but that's my own problem.
I mean,
I got distracted by cleaning my entire house.
dude, I
So,
need to do that.
I say my entire house, but obviously clearly my room's not cleaned yet. But this way, if this works, we don't have to bomb the apartment. Um, and
That's
actually
good.
I've woken up with less bug bites, which is really nice. So I'm gonna rewash all
The
my
goal
bedding.
is zero.
Well, yeah,
I
that's
know.
my
I know.
ankles are like a war zone right now. They're really, it's only my
Ugh.
ankles, and I've gotten a couple on my like upper body. But my plan is to strip my bed again, rewash all my bedding again, like in hot water again, because that's what I did last week. And then I
Mhm.
have the spray, the like, what is it? This Ultra Guard
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
spray, and I'm going to spray down my mattress again, and then vacuum my mattress again after that, and then also spray down my carpet. But I think we're almost in the clear here. So thankfully, like most of the apartment is wood floor,
Shadow be
right?
in the clear yet, in the clear yet. Good.
Yeah, dude, for realsies. But enough
You
about
say
me.
that again.
How are you feeling after your giant sunburn?
Ugh. I'm working on it slowly, slowly but surely.
Yeah. That is not what we are here to talk about. What are we
Nope.
here to discuss, Ariel?
Mermaids.
Mermaids.
Mermaids. Yeah, we read a novella this time around, and it was a mermaid novella. We had a funnish time last time, and we wanted to dive back into the mermaid world.
Dive. Sorry.
Do I think that this hit the spot for me? No, I do not. But come along for the journey with us as we
No, I do not.
discuss Wild Tides by Eden Hale, and you will find out for yourself. Maybe you already have.
Hopefully you have. Who knows?
I really want to know Crystal's thoughts because I've been chomping at the bit for Crystal's thoughts for like a week.
Listen, it's been a rough week. Crystal is
Oh,
tired.
no, no, no. I'm not saying how dare you, Crystal, for not reading it. I'm more of I've been waiting this
No,
long, so I've
I
been
know.
dying to know your.
Oh, I was just moving my mic. I was
No,
just fixing
you
it.
weren't going to tell thoughts.
Nope. I'm gonna make you wait.
So we open with Cassandra. Though personally, it took too long for me to learn her name.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. I
Too
think it
long.
should be right at the top
Uh-huh.
and call it a day.
And if it's not in the top, it should be within the first page.
Yeah.
It should not be several pages in.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
She's on a cruise with her best friend. Cassandra would have rather flown to their destination, which would have only taken 2 hours. But Sasha, her best friend, insisted on a cruise because she loves cruises. So instead, they're taking a ship, which is days long instead of that lovely 2 hours.
Though I do love a cruise though.
Cassandra does not.
I know. Well,
It has
Cassandra
been,
is
hates
a
everything.
stompy bitch.
Hates everything. But Cassandra has been on this nausea-inducing death trap, and she is not happy. She's sunburnt. And
Is this about
finally,
you? I'm just kidding.
if I
If
know
you
I'm a
ever acted
lot,
like this, I would
but
probably
yeah, I would
defriend you.
No, if I ever acted like this, I would rely on you to be like, bitch, get
Okay.
yourself to fucking together.
Okay. Yes.
Girl.
Yes, ma'am.
They're in this thing though, and she finally has one more day left before she can get off this godforsaken boat and stop for a week at a city called Crossgate, which they're wanting to tour and check out for their future business plans. They have a pastry shop that they own together, and they're looking to open a second location. And Crossgate sounds like a good idea for them. So checking it out is a priority. Crossgate gets a lot of tourists, especially since they cater to the crowd who likes folk tales. And everyone on the ship is weaving this story about how there's sea creatures that they battled with, and how Crossgate's mayor has been able to be the one to bridge the gap between land and sea. And it does well for marketing, not so well for Cassandra's mood.
See, I would have been like, okay,
Like
yeah.
into it, like tell me more.
Right? Tell me more, tell me more. Like to
Exactly.
see how the car. Sorry.
That's where my brain went. Cassandra's room on the ship has a neighbor, William, who she is not a fan of. But really, what is she a fan of? He keeps popping up and is always coming out of his room when she is, as if he knows that she's coming out, and she is just sick of him. He's way too interested in her business and why they're going to Crossgate, and it just irks her. Apparently, he tells her then that it will be difficult to establish herself as a pastry chef in Crossgate without his support. Crossgate is his city. Maybe she should choose another place for her establishment. Cassandra doesn't want to tell Sasha about William and his weirdness because Sasha's having such a good time on the cruise and she's constantly checking in on her phone with her boyfriend, who she's just head over heels with.
Okay, first of all, no. First of all, I would tell you, I don't care how much fun you're having. I'd be like,
No,
bitch, I need to tell
we
you
need
this
to know
because
this.
we need to
Yes.
put this man in his place right now.
And I'm not going to keep shit.
Right.
Yeah. And why is Sasha ignoring the woman she dragged on this cruise when she didn't want her to
Right?
go on this
I
cruise?
would push you
And she's
oversea.
just on, like,
Oversea.
Crystal, come to this place you really don't want to go, but I'm going to ignore you and be on my phone.
Fuck that shit. So
Like,
mad.
how, what, this?
They are
Save
not
it for the end.
friends.
Save it for the end. She doesn't want to give Sasha any negative vibes, so they just go to their cabins to get dressed for dinner, even though Cassandra sees out the window dark clouds coming in, and she just gets a sense of dread, wondering what else could happen during this wonderful cruise experience. They're probably even going to cancel the dinner out on the deck that they were heading to. So she decides to get a head start on the blog post that she has to write for their business, and decides that the approaching storm clouds would make a stunning photo to pair with her post. So she steps out on the balcony and tries to find a good angle when the ship gets a good hit on a wave and sends her phone flying out of her hands. She instinctively lunges for it, not thinking, which has her body half hanging over the railing as she watches her phone fall into the waves. Bye.
That would suck though.
Yeah, that was a big mistake going after it, though, because when the ship hits another wave, she's next, flying right over, barely catching the railing. She yells out for help as she desperately clings to the slippery rail. People start coming out onto balconies hearing the noise, and then she sees William appear at his window, right there, right next to her cabin, right there. She yells for him, and she tries to pull herself up. She really regrets not going to the gym all the times that she swore she would. And then her hand slips, and she sees William smirk as she falls into the waves below.
Fuck
Waves
that man.
below.
Oh my God.
When she comes to, she's kind of surprised she's not dead, but
Oh,
she figures the only
fair.
reason she's surprised.
I mean,
she,
that's a fair thought because you can die.
I know. But she figures the only reason she survived was because she obviously needs to return to the ship and punch William in the face. So she sits up and realizes that she's sitting on some kind of moss bedding. She's covered in some kind of wet greenish brown gunk. She manages to stand up and realizes she's in some sort of cave and hears the rain and thunder, realizing that the storm is still raging. She has no idea how she got from the water into a cave at all. All she remembers is falling into the water and not being able to keep herself above the waves. The cave is fairly large, with a body of water seeming to block what looks like the only exit. And then she sees bubbles rise in the center of the lake, and a man splashes out of it. He's not wearing any clothes, and he's greenish blue with black stripes, and he's got these blue fins poking out of his hair where his ears are supposed to be, and along his arms attached to his elbows, and he just floats there staring at her. She's obviously scared and backs the fuck up, asking who he is and to stay away from her. He makes his way to the shore, and then she sees his gigantic tail floating up to the top of the water. She doesn't know if she's hallucinating or if she's dead. She screams. He puts his hands on both sides of his head like it hurts him, and then swims to the other side of the lake to get away from her. And then he swims out the exit. She's kind of like, what the fuck? But then he comes back with a brown bowl, bringing it back to her, and it's full of fresh rainwater. Though it could be poison for all she knows. She tries to talk to him and tell him to stay away, but he doesn't seem to be listening. She doesn't know if he can actually understand her. She's kind of rude about it too, asking if there's anything besides water and seaweed inside his head. Like, not everyone is going to understand everything you say or speak the same language as you.
And
Kind of rude.
honestly, it's so funny because it's kind of giving the opposite reaction of what that other mermaid book we read, where the girl came to and he like came and he was
Like,
he
that's
was
so
at least
thoughtful.
nice.
Yeah.
She's just a bitch.
Yeah. He slithers out of the water and grabs her hand, and she's all high and mighty, like, doesn't he know who she is? She's the co-owner of Sweet Treat.
Good for you.
He can't just touch her. Girl, shut the fuck up. He just wants to put the bowl of water in her hand and like show her to drink it. And then he backs off, goes back into the water. She smells the water and tries it because she is really thirsty and it tastes fine. So she gulps it down and then she throws the fucking bowl at him. He just looks at the bowl like, what the fuck? And he swims back closer to her and he opens his hand. Inside, there's a button with an emblem depicting a rose. She recognizing it as belonging to the staff of the ship. And he points to it and then he points to her. And she gives up on trying to figure out this communication because obviously that reminds her of the ship and heads to the water, intent to get to Crossgate on her own. Which again, girl, like, seriously. And she makes it about 4 feet in the water before she cramps up and is exhausted and starts sinking. 4 feet.
Well, okay, so she has been in the water and she probably hasn't eaten in a while. I don't fucking know.
I know. But he just grabs her around the waist and pulls her back to the surface and brings her to shore.
He's
He just gives her a
actually
what the
nice.
fuck look.
He's actually nice.
She sticks her tongue out at him. He rescued her and yeah. And then
I'd be
she,
like, hey, bitch, you can drown.
right, stumbles around the water to the entrance and stomps her feet, realizing that she's fucked. Like, how old is this woman?
I don't remember.
I actually don't know, but her initial panic starts to wear off a bit, and she realizes that this person, Fishman, as she calls him, is probably how she is alive and how she's safe in this cave to begin with. But she isn't sure if she can trust his motives. Maybe he's holding her for ransom. But if he saved her once, then he might care about her continued survival. And it is very freezing in the cave. So she just like snarls at him and demands he help her. She's freezing. He's not going to get any money if she's dead after all. Seriously, I think I hate this woman. And I did tell you several times that I hate this woman. And you're like, no, it can't be that bad. It is that bad.
Yeah.
The dude just kind of looks at her and then dives back down under the water, which she does not like because now she's alone and can hear the thunder booming outside. Pick a lane, girl. The guy returns again, which the ungrateful hag tells him it took long enough. He has these tree trunks slathered in this yellow stuff with him, and he brings them ashore. Then he goes back under the water to get another pile of the gooey wood, and she tries to ask what he's doing, but he doesn't answer. Instead, he just goes back and gets 2 glowing stones. He gestures for her to back up, and then he smashes them together, causing sparks, which causes the pile of wood to catch fire. He made her fire. But of course, she's not a fan of the smell of whatever's on the logs. It is fire, though. Instead of being grateful for it, however, And having warmth, she snaps at him, asking if he could have made it a less disgusting fire. She warms up a bit and watches him and then decides to try to talk to him so she can gain information. She tells him her name, Cassandra Mallory, and he just repeats Mallory. He tries again and calls her Castlery. She gives up and pats his chest, and he says Valen. Cassandra tries to ask about the button again, and Valen goes to the sand and starts drawing in it and draws a picture of a ship. And Cassandra's nodding, saying yes, she needs to go back to the ship. But Valen just looks to the cave entrance where the nasty storm is going on, and she's like, yeah, it's dangerous, but she needs to go. She could be losing money right now. Somebody's trying to sabotage her. But then her stomach growls, and Valen dips under the water again and brings her back a dead fish, skewered on a stick. She's not impressed, saying he can't exactly expect her to eat that.
He's trying so hard
I
to
know.
be nice.
So he splashes her, which good for him.
Yeah.
She says fine, that she guesses it would be rude to reject free food without even trying it. That's the rude part of the day, ma'am? Then she says, wait, isn't he a fish? Isn't this cannibalism? And then she goes on this
That's
whole
kind of funny,
rant
though.
about it, realizing he has no idea what she's saying. And then they roast the fish, and when it's done, Valen pulls it out and offers it to her. Her stomach's still growling, so she tries it. She says it's not tragic, it'll have to do. And they quietly eat together. Then Valen gets back in the water, and she gets this dread that he's going to leave her alone for the night. And she tells him, wait, that he needs to stay. He's the one who took her. That means it's his responsibility to make sure she's safe at all times. He just smirks at her and goes back to the shore, and they both just kind of lay back on the moss until they fall
He's probably
asleep.
thinking like, what the fuck did I just do?
I know. I don't know why he stayed, honestly. Not gonna
I
lie.
would have left after the very first instance of her being a dick.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay,
girl, bye.
goodbye.
Yeah,
No, thank you.
it gets worse.
Yeah.
It gets worse. When Cassandra wakes up, it's
Does
still
it get
raining.
worse, Ariel? Does it?
Yes. She's irritated that Valen isn't up already making breakfast for her. Why isn't he being a good host? She even is thinking about how she can be loud and stomp around and wake him up like one of those toxic, narcissistic people.
Yeah.
But she also really needs to pee, so she contemplates where she can do this, especially in front of Valen. She kind of creeps over to him to make sure he's legit asleep because she doesn't want to get caught. And she notices that he has some weird red scales that seem to be out of place on the pattern of his tail. And when she gets closer, she sees that they aren't actually red scales. He's wounded, which honestly we never learn about. And then she goes on this long rant in her head about how mer people must be like those humans that just tough it out because fuck doctors, no need for them. That, oh, look, it's infected. Never saw that coming. So surprised. She figures it's gonna be up to her to treat the wound. She has to do everything around here. She goes to the lake and takes off her dress and her tank top underneath, leaving her in only her underwear, which honestly was an odd choice to use the bathroom. Let's take off everything but the clothing that covers where I'm actually gonna pee from.
Yeah, that's weird.
I would have understood taking off the underwear. And I don't
Yeah.
know. She slides into the water and she can't touch it so deep. And she relieves herself, thinking how incredibly rude it is not to have a bathroom in there. And as she sighs in relief, Valen opens his eyes, and so she obviously screams. I say obviously because it's obvious for her, not normal people.
Yeah.
She tells him to look away as she splashes him continuously to try to make it so he can't see until he grabs her arms to stop her. He says something in a language she doesn't understand, but she's assuming it's basically like, bitch, calm the fuck down.
It probably is, bitch. Calm the fuck down.
She stops screaming, so he lets her go. She's thinking it's all his fault. He could have just stayed asleep or pretended to stay asleep like a civilized person, then she wouldn't be feeling all awkward.
He cannot read your mind, you dumb bitch. Like,
Even though she kind of liked his eyes on her because he hopes he liked what he
pick
saw,
pick a lane.
because she does have a good set of boobs, she thinks.
I just pick a lane. I don't
Yep.
know.
She climbs back out of the water now that Valen has turned around and puts her dress back on. She takes her discarded tank top, saying that he better appreciate this, thinking about his wounded tail, and he turns towards her, hearing his name, and she's ripping the fabric and tells him he can't be injured if he's going to help her. She goes to his tail and starts wrapping the pieces of fabric around the scales. I don't know what she thinks she accomplished by doing this, but
I, we've established she's not smart, right?
she can't help but touch his tail because it makes her curious. When's the next time she's going to be able to touch a mermaid tail after all? It's not as slimy
Okay,
as she
but
thought.
honestly, fair enough
Yeah, oh,
because
absolutely.
I would also be curious.
Yeah, it's not as slimy as she thought it would be. It's rough, like the scales. But then she looks up at him and he's looking at her and she's just like, nope. Because the way he looked at her, it's making her feel like she just might want to dump him. And that's insane. She's certainly not that desperate.
I am. Sorry.
Day turns into another
Was that too
evening
much?
and the storm continues to rage on. Valen comes in and out of the cave. He seems to have a job to do, collecting fish and nets and bringing them somewhere. Cassandra isn't really sure. No, that she care that much. She just watches him flex his muscles and carry nets full of fish.
I don't know. Help.
When it's completely dark, Valen brings more wood and fish for dinner and skewers them on sticks so he can roast them. And then Cassandra tries to use the rocks to light the fire herself because, according to her, she can do anything Valen can do and probably better. And it sparks a little but doesn't do much. And he tries to mimic that she needs to use more force. And she says she can't possibly. She paid a lot for her nails. She's not going to risk breaking one.
Bitch. Bitch.
Valen comes up behind her and shows her how to do it. She's not happy that he just grabbed her hands like that, though his hands were nice and warm. She tries to avoid his gaze and walk away from him, but she ends up slipping on some moss and falling backwards and basically falls right into Valen's lap,
Wish she had fallen back and bashed her head against a rock and died.
which she
Sorry.
embarrassingly crawls away from him quickly. He calls her name, or Castlery as he calls her, and reaches over and tips her chin up. She tries to avoid looking at him as she thinks about how when she does manage to get out of this cave, she's going to go straight back to work, and work is her life. She hasn't had really much of a personal life because she's made work the center of her life. But here in this cave, work's not there, only Valen. And Valen clearly wants her. She couldn't take Valen to the human civilization, so it would just be a short thing. No expectations, no strings. Nobody would even have to know. So when Valen leans towards her and she finally looks at him, Cassandra lets him kiss her. It shocks her that she feels his hardness underneath her lap coming from his tail. She's been trying to check him out all day, and all she's seen is a smooth, scaly front of him, which honestly, she was offended at first because is he not attracted to me? And yeah, the whole thing.
Good Lord.
Yeah. She starts to explore his chest and lets him do the same. Of course, she makes fun of him for struggling to take off her dress and finishes the job for him. And then she takes off her underwear and then she assesses what he's been hiding and realizes it must have been tucked behind a slit in his scales. And she realizes that it sort of looks like a human's, except it's blue and it's giant and a little thinner at the top and bigger at the bottom. And she gets down on the moss next to him and he guides her to lay down on her back, pausing to check in with her, see if she wants to keep going. And she grabs his hands and brings them to her chest to show him to keep going. And then he explores her human skin. Then he rubs his thumb to her clit as if he knew exactly what to do, which, not gonna lie, made me think he just kind of finds humans all the time, and this why he was tolerating her bullshit, which would have made a much better story if we got like his point of view at the end. And news flash, spoiler alert, that's not what happens, but would have made for a much better story.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, you know.
He works her until she comes and she makes a crack at he probably feels a little too smug now, and this cannot stand because she's a self-made woman and she needs to be in charge here. So she wraps her hand around his cock, and when that clearly isn't going as quickly as hers was, she attempts to take him into her mouth. Valen uses his tail to wrap around her back and come around to play with her breasts, which is interesting. And then he lifts her so he can finger her a little and then bring her down onto his cock so he can start to push inside her. Then he wraps his tail around her waist to lift her, to use her to fuck him, which is kind of cool. Then he flips her on all fours and then he fucks her roughly from behind. And then they lay down as he holds her, neither of them noticing that the storm has stopped outside. Once they've both calmed down enough, they rinse off in the water, and Cassandra sees that it has stopped raining, but it's dark out now, so she supposes they probably shouldn't try to travel at night because it's probably dangerous. So they sit by the fire and eat the fish until it's time to sleep. They cuddle until the morning, when Cassandra wakes up and runs for the cave entrance. She can see so much now. More little island caves like this one, and she tells Valen that she guesses it's time for her to go, and that they'll be waiting for her at Crossgate. And then she goes and picks up the rose emblem, gives it to Valen, and says, "This is to remember her by." He smiles and puts it back on the ground.
You know, yeah.
He does.
He probably does this all the time and he goes, okay, I'll forget you in about
Like
10
I said, would have been a much better story. I would have been here for that.
Man whore of a merman.
Would have been here for that. Would have made somehow this tolerable. Anywho, he takes her hand, brings her out to the cave until it's too deep for her, and then he gets in the water, has her straddle his back to ride him like a horse or something, and then he takes off. They swim for a while until, well, a water horse, not a seahorse because that'd be weird, but
It's just like a water horse, isn't it? Just a seahorse.
he's like, on like flat, like horizontal,
Like riding the back of a dolphin?
I guess.
Riding a stingray? I don't know.
I don't know.
Water horse?
Water horse.
Okay.
Oh. They swim for a while until, well, he swims for a while, she rides, until she sees city towers looming in the distance that she's assuming is Crossgate City. She also sees the rose emblem in the harbor, and she can breathe a sigh of relief that Sasha must have made it to safety, to her destination. Valen brings her to a nearby beach that's kind of abandoned because he obviously doesn't want to be around other people and have them see him. Cassandra thinks that he should really be grateful that she's so understanding because she could be complaining about having to walk all the way. She just never gets better. Even
Do
with
you
Dick.
want him to fly?
I just don't understand. Even Dick didn't make her better. Like,
No, usually Dick will like calm you down a little
yeah,
bit.
no. Balin drops her on the beach and she immediately gets back in the water, saying, "Yes, this is goodbye. She won't forget the island. She'll remember him and the cave. She won't tell anyone about him." He gives her a kiss and swims into the ocean. This is the best. This is honestly the best part. He's basically like, "Sayonara, bitch," and just leaves. Not a glance behind him.
Oh my god.
Deuces.
Deuces.
She marches towards the docks and finds some men there who gape at her appearance. And she's just like, "Well, don't just stand there. Come on, she needs help. She's the missing woman. Surely she's been on the news. Hello." And then she hears Sasha's voice calling to her, and they run and they hug. And Sasha says that William said he saw her fall overboard and everyone feared the worst. And then when they couldn't find her, they thought she was dead. Cassandra says, "Don't worry, she's fine. She just needs a shower and a change of clothes." Sasha wants to know what happened. How did she survive? How did she get there? Cassandra says she just washed up on an island, but she couldn't leave because of the storm and found a rowboat on the island. Sasha says they need to call the rescue workers. They've been searching day and night for her. They'll be so happy she's safe. And Cassandra's kind of like, "Oh, yeah." Cassandra says she's glad that Sasha's all right and that she should know William threatened to sabotage their business. They have to make sure he can't mess anything up. Sasha says she knows that he tried to badmouth them to the rental people and get the deal canceled. But fortunately, the owner is Sasha's boyfriend's mother. So all William accomplished was getting himself to look bad. His mom has lots of connections and it's not a good look for him. Sasha says Eric, her boyfriend, has really came through and arranged meetings with some really important people in the town. And they found local suppliers. They're getting well set up. They could already get started hiring staff. Cassandra is shocked and surprised. She's like thinking she's been only gone 3 days. How had Eric gotten so involved in their business in 3 days and gotten all of this done? She's feeling really frustrated. Everything was kind of done without her. Bitch, you were dead.
Right? What the fuck do you want them to do?
Sasha says there's still so much work to do. It's okay. Cassandra's needed to interview people because they need her great judge of character. Cassandra, placating if I ever saw it. Cassandra asks if they already have a hotel. No, they just slept outside for the last 3 days in solidarity with you. Sasha says they do, and they don't need to discuss right now. She can rest. Cassandra says that she's really tired. And honestly, Cassandra's wondering why she even came back. Clearly, she wasn't needed. Later on, Sasha finds Cassandra staring out over the water, and Sasha checks in on her. Cassandra says she's fine. She's just tired. It's been a long 3 days. There've been a lot of changes. Sasha says she apologizes. She knows that Eric is picking up a lot of the slack right now. It just sort of happened. Sasha was a wreck without Cassandra there, and he just kind of caught her. Cassandra says she feels like they moved on without her.
They thought you were dead. Duh.
But she tells her that there was no point in not working in her absence, and she's proud that she was able to stay focused despite thinking she was dead. If that isn't a backhanded fucking guilt trip compliment I ever did see. Sasha tells her the island seems to have changed her. She's confused, and Sasha says that Cassandra hasn't complained once since she's back. So this version of Cassandra that she's seeing is new and improved.
Oh.
And she's still like
Yikes.
friends with her. Yeah. Sasha asks her what happened on the island, but Cassandra keeps saying she's fine, but she's clearly not. And then she admits that no, I guess she's not. She found out that she could fall off a cruise ship and get lost for a few days and then have her role in the company completely taken over by somebody else.
Yeah, that says a lot about you, my dear.
Sasha says that was never the intention. Things just happened. Cassandra says she understands. She gets it. She just wonders if maybe she needs a break from Sweet Treat. Sasha says no, that Eric can step back immediately. And Cassandra says no, that the two of them will make an excellent team. She's not abandoning ship. She just needs a little space to figure things out. She realizes that she's been neglecting herself over the years. It's not something anyone did. It's a her problem. Yeah, everything's a you problem, bitch. Then she changes the subject and lets Sasha in on the fact that she kind of met someone unexpected on the island. Sasha's excited and wants to know everything. Cassandra explains that he lives on the island and wanted to go back away from her. No, I added that. She tells her about how he stayed with her during the storm and brought her back to Crossgate. Sasha's happy, saying finally someone is capable of capturing her heart. It would take a very special kind of man to capture it and get her to stop complaining a little. She asks Cassandra if she wants to see
Is
him
that man
again.
in the room with us?
She says she can ask Eric if he can arrange a private ship to go to the island. She's sure he knows somebody. They can even call it a business trip as long as she reports back everything to Sasha. Cassandra says, okay. Wild turn of events. And then she starts to think about all the things she would need to pack. Dude, Valen just left her there. Didn't even like try to say anything. And why is she assuming he wants her? Wild fucking times.
Delusion.
Anywho, yeah, I don't know. She rents a boat, learns how to drive it herself after a few lessons, tries her best to remember the journey. She decides to rent the boat for a week, thinking that should be enough time to find him. She packs a crate of food, lots of water, lots of pastries, because that makes sense. Wild time. I felt like this was like an advertisement for pastries half the time.
I mean, pastries are really good though.
They are, but like weird. But she doesn't even get the boat out of the harbor before she sees something shimmering in the water. It's Valen's tail. He came back. Do we have a mental home for mermaids?
Do we have a what?
Mental home for mermaids?
No.
She's worried people are going to see him, so she shoos him under the water. Bitch. She hopes he'll follow her boat. She quickly tries to untie the knots, but Then she hears a splash and sees a human man climbing out of the water, a very naked human man. It's Valen, attempting to walk on his new legs and falling. She rushes to him, telling people around that are starting to stare not to worry. Nobody needs help over here. She steers him to her boat, and he hugs her and pulls her onto his lap, and she just tells him she has pastries for him and grabs one and hands it to him, and he pokes at it. Boop, 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 boop. She tries to show him how to eat it, and he tosses the entire thing into his mouth in one go.
Yeah.
Suddenly, Sasha's at the boat. She wanted to try to catch Cassandra with another basket of pastries. I didn't get it. I don't know. And she sees Valen in his nakedness, and she's like, "Oh, sorry." But she says, "It's nice to meet him, though." And she runs off as Valen chuckles. Cassandra kisses him, and then she starts the boat and steers it away from the harbor. And once they're completely alone and only surrounded by water, he takes off an amulet that was around his neck and turns back into a merman. And he comes up behind her and holds her while she steers the boat. And that's how the story ends. That's it. That's literally all that transpired.
Ugh,
I have so many questions that I don't even know if I want the answer to.
I think that we should leave the answers in the ocean where they belong.
That sounds great to me.
Yeah.
I
So,
just, I, I just, this was a weird one.
yeah. They can't all be winners, and we just keep.
And I feel very gaslit for Crystal trying to convince me that this main character couldn't be that bad.
Well, that was before I read the book, okay? Because, okay, I need you guys to understand. A lot of times she will be like, ugh, I hate this person. Ugh, I hate this person. This person is just so terrible. And I'll read it and I'm like, dude, what the fuck is
Well, you're just in
actually
a
wrong
mood.
with you? Like, what mood are you in right now? Because this was fine. Now, this lady was terrible.
This lady was, I, I don't get it.
Yeah.
So clearly, she's my least favorite character.
Yeah, I mean, her, the friend, the dude,
Everyone,
literally everybody. There
not a
was not,
single fucking soul.
yeah.
Maybe William for letting her drown would have like.
How about the town for allowing them to set up their place?
I meant as a positive. Maybe William for
Oh,
letting her drown.
good Lord, Ariel.
Just kidding. I probably would have let her drown too. That probably interaction was all in her head. Who knows?
I don't know.
I don't know. Who's your favorite character?
I'm not, like I said, probably the people who allowed them to set up shop in this area. That's about it.
Yeah, maybe Eric.
Yeah. Eric kind of fucking like swooped right in. Oh, she's dead. Let's just get you going. Like he was
Like,
all on top of
let's
that
help
shit.
my girl. Yeah. He probably was like,
Yeah.
let's steer Sasha away from the fucking crazy lady
Lady,
because she's
right?
fucking nuts.
Because he doesn't want his girlfriend to end up like the crazy lady. Ugh.
Contagious sometimes.
Oh my God. So,
Oh
have you seen all the ratings already?
yeah.
All right.
That's why I
So,
laughed with you when I was like, dude, there's only 12 on here.
Amazon gives this a 4.3. Goodreads a 3.85.
I want you to know before I rated it, it was like a 4 point like 4 or something like that.
And Storygraph is a 2.5. So,
I rated this 1 star generously. I feel like the only salvation saving point for this would have been if he had been some kind of weird mermaid gigolo, just rescuing random human bitches and like fucking them and then like bringing them back and being like, peace. But that is not what happened. It would have been great. And we had like a little excerpt of his point of view at the end. Because let me just
yeah, that would have been
preface
really
this entire
nice.
book was in her point of view. So we
Yeah.
had to be in this fucking nasty ass bitch's head the entire time.
Yeah.
Maybe he did have only water and seaweed in his brain.
Yeah.
What did you rate it?
A 1.5.
Can't wait for you to put that in Goodreads so it'll go down a little more. Just kidding. That was awful.
Ariel, what is wrong with you?
It was awful. I mean, I stand by it, but that was still awful. That way I won't be the only person who rated it below 3 stars.
Yeah, yeah, I don't.
Because I saw you haven't been going back to Goodreads anymore. You got good that one day or whatever, and then you never went back.
No, Goodreads can eat a dick. So,
Cucumbers.
peppers. What are you
Yep,
doing
peppers.
cucumbers for? It was a cucumber.
Same fucking thing. Peppers. Vegetables. Our vegetable scale.
Please don't change the scale again.
And not like the kitchen scale where I was going to meet cutlet might. No.
Bro.
Wild times.
Vegetable
scale.
Stop it. It's a pepper scale. No.
Poblano.
Yeah.
I would. So here's the thing. If I had to be around this woman, I don't think I would survive. Or maybe she wouldn't survive.
Yeah, I probably would have killed her. I would have just let her drown.
Yeah.
Honestly, maybe he was curious, but as soon as she opened her mouth, I would be like, "Oh, fuck you."
I have so many questions. This is
Not a
like one of
single
those
answer.
examples that it's really a disservice to only have the one point of view because it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I wish we also had his point of view because that would have been kind of nice to see where his thought process was and see why he decided to choose to continue on with this woman because no, thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they didn't give the other point of view because they're like, you don't want to hear his actual inner thoughts.
I
Or
do.
maybe they're like, he's just dumb and doesn't have any.
It's the only reasonable explanation that he's just fucking dumb as rocks. Literally dumb as rocks.
Dumb as the ocean rocks.
It's too bad.
That he should have bashed her head in with. I mean, what? So.
My kitchen is full of suds.
I got that from this conversation I could hear.
My kitchen is full of suds. I don't even know.
Towels?
Yep. It's slowly trying to drain, but like it's coming out. It's seeping through the dishwasher because
Yeah.
he filled the entire fucking pocket full of dish soap.
He's so smart.
So, well, we only have 2 books left on our wheel.
That we do. So we want to figure out what we're going to pick between the two and see what happens. Sounds great to me. Sounds fabulous.
Better than my kitchen flooding.
All righty. So are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. It is going to be Until It Was Love by Pippa Grant.
Oh, this was your rugby choice.
Oh, that's right. All right. So, Until It Was Love, it is a complicated situationship rom-com. And it is rugby because I felt that we needed that. Anyways, Until It Was Love by Pippa Grant. There are
We've never done a rugby book.
We have not. And honestly, that's why I picked a rugby book because we haven't done rugby.
I don't know a lot about rugby. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't either, but okay, do you want to know all I know about rugby? The videos I see on TikTok and how hot those men are.
I mean,
Mhm.
That's
That's
not
all
much
I know.
more. Yeah.
That is all I know about
I know it's a
rugby.
sport. I know people play it.
Uh-huh.
I know. Yeah.
Uh-huh. I just like the videos. Anyways,
Any of the rules? Not a little bit.
nope. There are a million reasons why I shouldn't date Fletcher Huxley. He's a growly-faced, stubborn-streaked international rugby legend trying to revive his flailing career in the US after being canned by his team overseas. While he might have the good kind of thunder thighs, sorry, intriguing tattoos and a booty of steel, okay. He also holds the top position on my very short nemesis list, thanks to what happened the first time we met. Plus, his mustache is as terrible as the reason he's picked me to be the woman he wants to date. But he has one big check mark in the why this date is a good idea column. He's my brother's new teammate. They already hate each other. And my brother has made an unfortunate habit of interfering with my love life recently. So, a revenge date with Fletcher to make my brother mad, while letting Fletcher think this date is merely for the good of the team. Yep, I'm in. I'm moving to London for work in a month, and it's just one date. What could possibly go wrong? Until It Was Love is a banter-tastic rom-com featuring an overgrown snack of a man with a soft spot for his purse dog, a normally optimistic life coach trying to live her best life, a mustache catastrophe, and one little tiny fainting spell. It stands alone and comes complete with a swoony happily ever after.
So, shits and gigs, I just Googled if the United States even had a rugby team because I wasn't actually sure.
Okay.
They do.
Okay.
They do. They have one in Houston, one in New Orleans, one in San Diego, one in Seattle, and one in Utah.
Okay.
Like that
Cool.
are big part of the Major League Rugby.
Gotcha.
Since its founding in 2018. So we
Yeah.
have only had a Major League Rugby since 2018. Rugby, not Rugby.
A
We've only had
rugly.
we've
It
only had
sounded
a
like you said
major.
rug league, like you
I
were
know.
like shortening
I
rugby
know.
down.
We've only had a Major League Rugby since 2018, but we've had rugby in the country as teams since the 70s.
Yeah, it's really big in like the UK and Australia. I know Australia, it's really big. And so it's
And
definitely
we
big.
have a national team called the Eagles.
Cool.
Hmm.
That makes sense. The Eagles,
Yeah.
America.
Yeah. Just don't hit one
Anyways,
with your car.
no.
Anyways, help us wind down our wheel and make sure to keep reading.
And keep it smutty. What was going on in the background?
Editing.
Oh, okay. I was like, what is that noise?
Your voice. Talking about dismembering a body.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool. Sorry. Something is on my desktop, but it's stuff for the podcast, and I don't know why it's on my desktop and not on my in the folder. So I got sidetracked. I'm sorry.
I'm talking about tails, and you're just
Mermaid sex. Got it.
I just want you to know it says found a robot on the island. She did not. She found a
That'd
robot.
been cool.
Yeah. Lots, see? All kinds of room for activities.
Mm-hmm.
None found here. And turns back into a... Not a man. He was a man. And... Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck.